Think about your university's network. UUM has firewalls blocking malicious traffic and strict password policies in place. But how do IT administrators actually know if these tools are successfully protecting your data? This firewall does its job, but zooming out reveals a dashboard with failing grades in untracked areas. You cannot improve what you do not measure. We fix this with 5 pillars: benchmarking, performance measurement, certification and accreditation, security auditing, and business continuity and disaster recovery. Moving beyond individual tools requires a framework that replaces assumptions with regular, structured evaluations of the entire system. This matrix shows UUM's IT architecture mapping against a recognized international standard framework like ISO 27001. Administrators compare their current setup against these global best practices. They also look inward, weighing the School of Computing against the School of Business to find localized inconsistencies. Benchmarks establish the baseline goal. To track progress toward that goal over time, organizations use performance measures to continuously evaluate their active security controls. This split-screen visualization shows 2 ways to measure progress. The left line graph tracks quantitative data, like a drop in students clicking phishing emails. The right radial chart tracks qualitative data, compiling feedback from student security awareness surveys. Benchmarking determines the correct destination for the university's security, while performance metrics reveal if the organization is actually moving toward it. This flowchart shows a network passing compliance checks to generate formal recognition. This certification proves to the outside world it meets standards. Accreditation is the official permission granted by an authority, confirming systems are authorized to operate safely. While certification proves compliance to outsiders, security auditing is how an organization systematically evaluates its own internal controls. This 5-step process loop breaks down an audit into planning, data collection, analysis, reporting, and follow-up. That follow-up phase is the most critical. It's where an audit report identifying weak password practices forces the organization to update its policies. Certification builds external trust, but rigorous internal auditing prevents an organization from ignoring the actual state of its defenses. Imagine a severe thunderstorm strikes Sintalk, completely knocking out power to UUM's main data center. Server racks go dark, and the student portal crashes right in the middle of exam week. This scenario requires 2 separate responses. The first is business continuity. This strategy keeps the university's critical operations running despite the disruption. The second is disaster recovery, which focuses on the technical work of restoring the failed IT systems to a functional state. Consider these actions: IT replacing fried servers versus moving exams to paper format. Rebuilding the hardware is a technical restoration, placing it in the disaster recovery quadrant. Shifting the exam format to keep the university functioning is business continuity. Disaster recovery saves the technology, but business continuity saves the organization's mission. This grid outlines the risks of ignoring these practices. Without benchmarking, systems stay vulnerable to attacks. Without metrics, security weaknesses go unnoticed. Failed audits lead to legal penalties, and the absence of a disaster recovery plan results in permanent data loss when systems crash. To master this framework, you need to answer 5 core questions. Why is benchmarking important? What are the most useful performance metrics? What is the difference between certification and accreditation? Why are audits necessary? And how do business continuity and disaster recovery differ? This matrix provides a direct map between the practice and the goal. Benchmarking adopts best practices. Performance measures track effectiveness. Certification builds trust. Auditing identifies weaknesses. And business continuity and disaster recovery ensure organizational resilience. A secure network isn't a static achievement. It survives by using these 5 practices to identify weaknesses and adjust defenses before an actual failure occurs.